participate in this inaugural congregation of the Bangalore Political Action Committee. I congratulate the founders of this committee, as I believe that this is apolitical, it is secular, public governance system, purposeful, efficient, and effective. I thought a little bit about what I would speak on, and I realized that one of the important roles that B.PAC will have to play is to be a friendly and gentle persuader of the existing parties and the legislators and the parliamentarians who will come into power or into the parliament or assembly in the coming years to transform the existing political party system and themselves. Because unless we can see a transformation in the well-entrenched political system, the effectiveness of B.PAC may not be as much as you and I would aspire to. Therefore, I decided to speak on the theme, what kind of political parties and legislators and parliamentarians do I dream to see in my country. This initiative of B.PAC has come at the right time for a very important reason. For the first time in the history of India in the last 400 years, India has received the attention of the world. We occupy the high table at several multilateral fora. India is expected to be one of the leaders for spurring the economic growth in the world today. Our middle class is growing. From a paltry 15-day supply of foreign exchange in 1991, we today have nearly $300 billion, probably $295 billion in foreign exchange reserves. Our youngsters, particularly from the software, the pharmaceutical, and the financial services industry, they literally walk on water. The urban youth are full of confidence. This is one side of this story. However, there is another India where the story is very challenging. More than 400 million people live in less than $1 a day, less than 55 rupees a day. In fact, less than 32 rupees a day, as was pointed out by the government last year. We have the largest mass of illiterates in the world. Our primary healthcare system, which Kiran knows very well, is woefully inadequate. Most cities have fast-growing slums. More than 50% of rural schools have just one teacher for every 2 classes. Corruption, as was pointed out by Kiran and Mohan, has indeed become the norm for the common man on the street. These are very depressing data points. Be that as it may, for the first time in my life, of 66 years, I see confidence around me that we can indeed solve the problem of poverty. I do not see the same sense of helplessness in solving the problems of the country as I used to see when I was in my 20s. The power of entrepreneurship has been discovered by the youth. The term inclusive growth has indeed gained currency. Thanks to initiatives like Aadhaar, the ability to deliver value through subsidy to the poor is becoming a reality. The corporates have discovered the charm of CSR. The youth are becoming social activists as seen by the response to the sad suffering and demise of Nirbhaya. Therefore, I believe that this is the right time to wake up and build an aspirational dream and an action plan to make such a dream a reality. What are the attributes of political parties and legislators and parliamentarians needed to make this dream a reality? Because let's remember one thing, no amount of such congregations sitting here will have any impact unless our political leaders are gently, affectionately, and in a very courteous manner persuaded to transform themselves and their parties. First, we need our political parties to have a powerful, simple, and aspirational vision. Such a vision should make every member of the party enthusiastic and clear about what needs to be achieved. To me, such a vision for a modern party doesn't matter. It could be Congress, it could be BJP, it doesn't matter. All these parties would be making our private sector most competitive in the world, and second, making our public governance system the fairest, the most transparent, the most efficient, the most effective, and the most accountable in the world. In other words, if every legislator, if every politician were to say, my party is going to make our private sector most competitive in the world and our public governance system fairest, most transparent, most accountable, most efficient and effective system in the world, every day, then I do believe that we will see change. Second, the manifesto that the political parties will produce before elections would result from such a wonderful vision and would be really translatable to objective, measurable actions. We want our political parties to have integrity of ideas and actions, whether they are in power or in opposition. Such integrity, as you all know, raises the credibility of our political parties. We want our political parties to institutionalize their structures, processes, decision-making, and succession plans based on meritocracy. We want our political parties to choose candidates based on competence, honesty, capacity to work, and good values. We want our parties to institute legal, open, and transparent systems for fundraising and fund utilization. They should produce publicly available, audited financial statements within 60 days of the end of the financial year. With such a system, I personally believe that we need not place any restrictions on how much money can be raised or spent by a party in an election. We want our parties to create institutions to teach election candidates basic ideas in leadership, in development economics, finance, international trade, project management, teamwork, cross-cultural negotiations, history, and heritage of India, and other such useful ideas and subjects. We want our parties to quickly evolve a code of conduct for the conduct of members of Lok Sabha and state assemblies and councils. I am sure all of you know that even after 66 years of freedom, there is no code of conduct for members of Lok Sabha and the state assemblies and councils. Mohan, correct me if I am wrong. My understanding is that only Rajya Sabha members have a code of conduct. We want our parties to nominate candidates early so that voters in the constituency know who their candidate is well in advance. At least I would ideally like about 6 months before the election day. What attributes would I like to see in our legislators and politicians? First of all, I would like them to be role models in competence, honesty, decency, objectivity, hard work, commitment, and national pride. Second, they should spend they should spend at least 50% of their time in their local constituencies, create an office there, meet their constituents, and take up the issues of the constituency with the government. They should show respect and sympathy for the voters of their constituencies, whether these people voted for them or not. They should avoid conflict of interest in their work. They should declare their personal and business interests and keep out of committees and chairmanship of government bodies where there could be a potential conflict of interest. We want these people to declare their personal wealth every year, as well as full financial and positional details of their primary relatives like spouse, father, mother, children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, uncles and aunts. Every year, they should publish their accomplishments in their role as representatives of people with specific, verifiable, and objective measurable data. When they are members of the legislature or parliament, each member should specialize in a couple of areas of expertise that matter to the state or the nation, build a research team to help him or her to understand these issues, formulate policies, and introduce legislations in the House. The government should provide full financial support for such research officers for each member of the parliament or legislature. If B.PAC can indeed take this as one of their important agenda items, I do believe that we will move a long way. B.PAC may have to coordinate with other such efforts in different parts of the country, because I am convinced that starting new institutions are good, but unless we can transform our existing institutions for betterment of the country, we may not be able to achieve as much as we want. Thank you very much.